Hi, everyone, and welcome to this webinar in the Wolfram Technology Conference. Looking forward to chatting for about 30 minutes here in talking about why Wolfram is moving into certification and how everyone here can be part of that and be involved with it. So let's start right from the beginning here. By the way, first thing to say is I am currently actually sitting in a car in the Highlands of Scotland. And so hopefully the signal and everything will work well here, but this is a little bit of an experiment to see if one can really do these things really remote working. Let's start from the beginning. Why is Wolfram doing certification? What is it that we're trying to achieve with this? And where are we going to take it? And I'll talk for a few minutes, and then we have a range of other people talking about the details of what we're actually delivering. So the first thing to say is many people have asked me and others for Wolfram certification. They want to have a way to demonstrate both their skills with our technology, but also because they believe we can potentially offer a training in modern computation in a way that other providers have not been able to do that. And so it's a reaction to that that has in fact led us to really think that this is an interesting direction and opportunity for everyone. And I have to say it's a little bit surprising. My opening position on this was, most people want certification from traditional authorities in different countries and things that offer that. And sometimes they want certification in a particular technology from a particular organization that makes that technology, but usually not more generally than that. And actually, people have said a lot of these traditional qualifications are not meeting the needs that they have in terms of areas that they want to cover. So as I say, we're not just talking here qualifications about our technology, though that's important. We're also talking about areas of computation. And one of the striking aspects of this, if you look around, is there are many qualifications you can do in traditional areas. Certainly, folks at school and even at college tend to do qualifications in math, physics, statistics, and now we are starting to see data science coming around. But even when the courses are labeled with data science, often they don't seem to meet what we would consider modern data science. They are more redressed statistics and other areas like that, sometimes with some machine learning thrown in. So we think a lot of the formal qualifications aren't hitting at this sort of modern computation area. And the other thing we're seeing, that, again, particularly for school qualifications, is, and they're not offering a currency for high achievers. If you want to just pass along to get to college, a lot of the qualifications in many countries have been rather downgraded. So essentially, anybody who's good should be getting an A star or equivalent in your country. And actually, a lot of people want something extra. They don't just want to be proving that they can regurgitate a lot of what was there before. So that's another reason we'd like to be able to take people in an alternative direction. One of the most striking reasons why people want this sort of qualification from us is because Wolfram is respected in technical fields. And we've already, with some of the trials we've done of this, we've already had a number of students who've gone up to get college places, and whether they are in the Wolfram Summer School or whether they are can talk about some of the courses they've done with us, these have been very helpful to their college admission and also when they go for jobs. And so most people who are technical in the world do know of Wolfram, and they might not know exactly all the things we do, but they do know we exist. And so in fact, we've become more respected than many traditional providers for some of these computation areas. And most people, when they see a Wolfram qualification, would think that it is something that that they would find that would certainly be a hard thing to achieve. And obviously, we want to make sure we maintain that standard in what we're trying to do. One of the things we've been building up, and you'll hear from Jamie, who's been in charge of this over recent years, is Wolfram U, our compendium of all courses, of all training that we put together. And we've really got a very large number of courses in an increasing number of areas and levels. And again, many people are taking those courses. We have good traffic, but we want to be able to give people some certification at the end of that to prove that indeed they've done these courses, and that to demonstrate, in a sense, their level of achievement. Of course, we'd like people to have something to put up and show. So one of the things we've often been asked for is, can I put up on my LinkedIn? Can I put up to demonstrate the achievement I've actually made in these courses? And so again, we have nice graphics and things to which you can immediately put up when you've actually done the certification. And we'd be very interested to hear afterwards of any other ideas of people thinking that there are different things that they'd like to see that would be helpful to them. Of course, just from our point of view as well, we'd like for the whole Wolfram community to show how many people are involved with Wolfram courses, learning particularly our technology and Wolfram language in particular. And for doing that, obviously, the more you can share these things on social media, the better, and the more that will build the picture of the range of uses to which Wolfram technology is put, and also the range of areas of computation we do, even when you're not specifically taking course around the technology. So look, that was the quick intro as to what we're doing and why. We'll be hearing the details, I say, in the next 20 or 30 minutes or so from Jamie and Abrita and Alec. Now, just before I go off, I just want to make clear who we think this certification is for. We've got individual students, sort of to add brownie points to their often college admissions, but also for getting jobs, and wanting to get Wolfram language and other technology credentials put together there. Also, there's educational institutions. If you're a school or a college, people are starting to use our courses as assessment tools, and this certification will really help. Certainly demonstrations has been used that way, and also for enrichment around traditional courses and projects. And also, in some cases, these may be useful as a primer for later use of Wolfram language in a course that assumes some capability in that, or things like an intro to data science. So in a sense, as a primer course inside an educational institution, whether that's a school or a college. And of course, adults, but those of us already in the workplace, we keep needing to step up to new areas of computation. So demonstrating ability in a new area, in a sense, as a or as somebody who can really develop Wolfram language code, as in a sense a Wolfram developer, seems very important. So that was that's who it's for. Let me hand over now to Jamie to talk about certification levels and how we're going to run that.
Thank you, Conrad. It's really great to be here and have the opportunity to talk about Wolfram certification and the different levels that are available. I want to start by saying that certifications are available through multiple delivery methods and for different learning styles. Listed here are the different programs and courses through Wolfram U that offer certification. Wolfram Daily Study Groups are free online sessions that support a cohort of learners and provide guided instruction for reaching your goals. We've been running daily study groups for over a year now, and they've been proven very popular. Over 4,000 individuals have participated, and 1,000 certifications have been issued through them so far. It's been very gratifying to see how much people value the opportunity to be part of a global learning cohort. And it's clear that the structure of these study groups contributes to the success of so many folks getting certified for program completion in a variety of areas, such as system modeling, epidemic data analysis, and of course in Wolfram technologies, including programming skills and working with notebooks. You can see here on this page that 3 study groups are currently open for registration on Wolfram U. This Introduction to Notebooks group starts right after the conference on Monday, and I think it's worth repeating that study groups are free. let's take a look at the next one here on the list. Wolfram boot camps. These are a more intensive, specialized, immersive learning experience. And Neural Networks Boot Camp ran this spring. We've run this boot camp twice, in 2020 and 2021, both online. Our other boot camp here is, let's see, back to this notebook. I wanted to click on this other boot camp here, data science boot camp. We've been running this one for 3 years, since 2019. We run this one in July, and these boot camps have been also very successful in guiding participants towards certification goals. Data science boot camp in particular provides an opportunity to work toward an advanced level 2 project certification in multi-paradigm data science, or MPDS, and Abrita will have more to say about the MPDS certifications a little later. Let me go back to this notebook. Instructor-led classes. These are a more traditional learning experience, and Wolfram's been running instructor-led classes for many years. Of course, they're all online right now, but these offer a small class size, and you're online with a certified instructor. Course completion certification is offered with all these courses. So let's talk about interactive courses. These are really the most flexible of all our offerings for self-paced learning and certification. And if I open the elementary introduction to the Wolfram language, the course based on Stephen Wolfram's book, we go into the course here. You're logged into your cloud account, and you have the ability to access course videos and also work on exercises and problems here in the Scratch notebook in the cloud. This is one of our newest interactive courses, Visual Explorations in Data Science, and this offers some additional or different assessment pieces. You can see this one, in addition to the course videos, it has course quizzes, and you can take your quiz right here in the cloud. You get immediate feedback on your results, and as you work through this course, this is a track my progress button right here. This tracking is embedded in the framework. You can monitor how far you've progressed with your videos and the quizzes and work towards your certification. When you complete the course, your personalized certificate is automatically generated with the click of a button. So we have currently 11 interactive courses on Wolfram U that offer certification. So those are the different ways that we deliver certification opportunities. Let's talk about some of these specific levels with some more detail. I'm going to start by going to the Wolfram certifications page. This is on the Wolfram U page. In fact, I'm going to go back to our home page here. Wolfram U, Wolfram certifications is linked right here at the top. And I'm going to filter by attendance and take a look here. So what you see here are featured 2 of our special events, our hands-on training to Mathematica and to Wolfram Alpha Notebook Edition. And these are trainings that are scheduled regularly with new dates added to the calendar each month. And you earn a certificate of attendance at Wolfram events by attending scheduled live sessions. Your attendance is verified, and attendance certification is available for all our webinars and events, daily study groups, boot camps, and all our classes and courses. Moving to the next level of certification, we have completion. So I'll go back to the certifications page and I'll filter by course completion. And here you see our full listing of all of our programs and courses that offer this course completion certification. Let me go back here to show you an example of that here. So this is an example of the course certificate. You earn the completion by, again, attending the live sessions or watching course videos and passing auto-graded quizzes. The quizzes represent our most basic assessment tool. So program and course completion certification is available for daily study groups, boot camps, and our full catalog of interactive and instructor-led courses. So let's go on now to level 1. This is really at the heart of our certification program and is verifying proficiency in a particular area. So if I return back to this page, and you'll see there are two types of level 1 here. First is Wolfram Technology. So we offer a level 1 certification in both Mathematica and the Wolfram Language. This uses an exam, which I'll show you in just a moment as an example. The other level 1 certifications are all computational subject-based. So basically, as I showed you earlier, all the assessment pieces for these courses, the quizzes, the exams, they're embedded in the framework and available to you from within that course itself. Let me go back to this certification on the Wolfram Language page. This landing page gives you all the program details that you need. So it tells you about the different subject areas. It gives you the guidelines and even a recommended certification process. And these level 1s are all currently free. So this is a great time to take the opportunity to pursue some of these certifications. And I'm going to go over here and I wanted to give you a quick preview of that notebook for, let's see here, I need to move my Zoom toolbar to get that. Okay, here is an example of a certification notebook. And as you can see, it's an auto-graded multiple choice exam, but it's rather complex. It has different components in the multiple choice questions. So to answer this question about generating an array of random real values between 0 and 1, you need to know all the components of the input to answer that question. At the bottom of your test, again, you want to be sure you're connected to the Wolfram Cloud. You click Grade My Exam, and then your score is associated with your cloud account, and we know who to send that certificate to. So let's go on to the final highest level, which is our level 2 Applied Expertise certificate. So going back to my filter here, you're going to find we have one featured level 2. That's the multi-paradigm data science program. This, again, full details about the project. This is a capstone project that you will complete and is individually graded by a Wolfram expert in the field. And the level 2 certification is what's offered there. Let me go back here. Again, these certifications, we are very excited to see more and more people add these to their resumes, CVs, school and work applications, as Conrad mentioned, and to your professional profiles. And we are working on making these certificates, once they are already auto-generated for you, but we're working on making them even easier to post to these sites. So again, Brita will be telling you more about the level 2 and the multi-paradigm data science and walking you through that a bit. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was a helpful overview of the different certification levels and what we do have available right now. I'm going to pass to Alec next, who's going to be discussing the computational thinking modules and the certifications associated with those resources.
Thanks, Jamie. That's really good. Great overview of all the levels and different certification processes. So as Jamie just said, I'm going to dig into a particular branch of those certifications, and the certificates we're going to look at are to do with computational thinking. And this has come out of the computer-based maths project that I've been involved with managing since 2013. So we've been writing learning resources, and then in this last year, we've branched into writing assessments and processes to gain these certificates that Jamie's just illustrated. So I've just got 5 minutes just to walk you through some of the things we've been doing. I thought it'd be useful at the start to make sure you understood what computer-based maths is about. And we base everything that we write, our learning resources, on this 4-step process where students solve problems using the defining the questions, sorting out the messiness from the real life, choosing the right abstractions, doing the computation, and interpreting the results back into the real world and writing their answer and interpreting it. And it's an iterative process, and we cycle around and around. And everything that I'm talking about here is on our computer-based maths site. And you'll see that we put this page up where we illustrate what the process is that we write resources about. So it's not just about a process, it's about redefining the outcomes that you get from solving problems in this way. And on this page further down are a description of the outcomes that we aim to hit in computer-based maths. So we've got thinking outcomes as one category, and outcomes that relate to each step of the 4-step process as well. And we don't limit ourselves to only having outcomes that can be assessed. And we also are very broad in the concepts and the tools that we include in our outcomes list for the 4-step process. If you want more details on the outcomes that we're trying to hit when we're doing this certification process, then this link will take you to individual details about the outcomes. So our certification is all about how are we measuring and certifying that students can do these outcomes that we're listing, not just about the tools, but about the critiquing and the verifying of the solution, and also about communicating and collaborating as just some of the examples of the outcomes that we're trying to hit. Okay, so what we've got available in the cloud at the moment are 4 self-study modules. These are self-paced learning resources, very much like the interactive courses on Wolfram U. In fact, they are linked on Wolfram U. And on our page 2, on the resources, self-study, you can see the 4 courses that are available as self-study with a little introductory video to help you get started if you're not sure. We have 4, ranging from CBM intermediate. We go from beginner to advanced, and the Can I Spot a Cheat one we've put as advanced. And I'll just click into the Can I Spot a Cheat just to show you what it looks like for a problem-solving module when you're doing self-study. So we go into Wolfram U, we get a description of the course. And when you go to free course, you'll go straight into a cloud notebook that looks like this on the introductory page. Some introductions, and because it's self-paced, we've removed the need to have an instructor or a teacher and put little help videos in to top and tail each activity. Now, the tracking we've got here enables completion certificates to be rewarded to successful students. And you can see that the problem here is broken into 2 chapters. And there are activities where the students need to respond successfully, and I have failed on that particular question. And there are other questions where you just have to send in a response. You don't have to gain a certain mark to get the tick. And once you've ticked all the boxes, then you can gain your completion certificate, which looks very similar to the ones that Jamie showed earlier. So that's self-study. Let's just look into what an activity may look like. Later on in the module, we're testing whether students can beat a fraud test. And this one's about flipping a coin 200 times. Again, here's the introductory video. And this is where students learn about partitioning and looking for the frequency of the partitions in the data for 200 coin tests. And there we can illustrate what partitioning means to the students. And we've got some questioning and answering for the students to do. So they might answer questions that are written and sent in. We generally try and self-check them in the self-study version so that students can get instant feedback about whether they are understanding or misunderstanding. Like so. So I would get a tick for that on my progress tracker now. We include the Wolfram language when it's necessary and give them helpful hints to enable them to use the Wolfram language to solve the problem. And we put in little interactives for them to try and beat and reinforce the concepts, trying to beat the computer to see if they're fraudulent or not against the tests. So that's a self-study activity. Let me just go back to my screen here. Level 1 certificates for the self-study modules look like this, and I'll just bring up that page. So at the end of completing one module, you should be able to complete a level 1 assessment, which is a section, a list of questions very similar to those that you would see in the module itself. And you have to get a pass mark of 39 out of 56. Now, I don't want to scroll through all the questions because this has been recorded and we don't want to allow anybody who's going to do this assessment to see them. But essentially, it looks very similar to a review section in the module. That just loads up in the cloud now. And you get a section on define, where you answer questions, a section on the abstract, obviously the compute, and then the interpret, and some subsequent questions at the end, which are extended questions to amalgamate all the 4 steps into one long question. So the level 1 exam looks very similar to this, with answering multiple choice, dragging, dropping, writing numerical answers, but we don't self-check on text answers at the moment. So that's a level 1 assessment for that module. There are 4 available, 1 for each of the modules that we have in self-study. Okay. Level 2 certification, which is currently our mainstream of work in computer-based maths at the moment. We're essentially trying to assess all of the outcomes that I showed at the beginning against the outcomes that you get in the projects on each of the self-studies. So at the end of each self-study module, there is a little project which is more open-ended, where we give a little bit of scaffolding to help the students through. And here, this one's based on analysing data on decisions made by football referees in the UK, that's soccer referees. And they import the data, they've solved the problem with a little bit of help from this scaffolding around the 4 steps, and produce a solution. Now we're working on writing the rubrics, and we're testing the rubrics at the moment to see if we can identify when the outcomes that we match to that project are being hit. And those will be coming available very shortly, in a matter of weeks, hopefully. Okay. So how do you prepare for your certificates? And I've just got an example of what the certificates look like, level 1, which is before my next slide. So how do you prepare to take a certificate in computational thinking? Well, I've just showed some self-study modules, which are an example of what we call directed learning, where a teacher or instructor, or a video instructor in that self-study case, takes the students, the learners, through the problem solution and guides them at every step of the journey. So we call those directed learning modules. Now we are currently developing more of these teacher-led or instructor-led modules in the cloud using our CBM teacher platform, which is hinted at on the CBM site here because it's available on desktop, and there are some screenshots of what it looks like on desktop. But we are imminently about to launch the cloud version of the teaching platform, where you have both the student and the teacher versions of each of the module. And I'll just jump into the same Can I Spot a Cheat module and show you what the teacher version, how it differs, and how the learning differs, and how students can prepare when they are being led by an instructor. So this is assuming that an organization or a school or a college has an instructor who leads the learning. We provide them with objective-led sessions. We put the steps in. We give them things that they might want to say, answers to questions, so the answers to the things that are self-checked in self-study. And we also provide guidance on what are the outcomes that we're trying to hit by this piece of learning that's going to be 4 minutes of data structuring. So here's the same activity in the teacher-led version. And here is the same question I answered earlier, but now I'm in an instructor version, so I can have a look at the responses of the class, and I can see all my class here, and I can get a summary of the responses sent in by my class, like so. That just needs to refresh. So here are all the responses, and they're anonymous at the moment, but if I feel comfortable sharing names of answers of students with the class, then we can use those as teaching points as we go through. And if we want to analyze them in context, then we can start doing things like doing histograms of the numerical answers and display them in different ways to analyze the misconceptions. So the teacher platform will be coming shortly, and it will have the 12 data science modules, which includes the 4 self-study. And let me just go back to this. Apart from having teacher-led versions, we also have projects, which are the guided learning phase, that, like I showed you for the football referees, where the instructor takes a back seat and lets the student progress through the solution more independently, with a little bit of help and some guidance to keep them on the right track. And apart from the 4 projects on the self-study, we also are launching 60 on the project repository, which is a page on the CBM site currently, which is also on the same resources banner, header drop-down project repository, where you can see a selection of projects. We will have 60 very shortly on here. I'll just jump into one of them. I think I was going to go into movie correlations, which when you click it will open up a project page very similar to the one that you saw in Football Referees, with some context, some help to get started, and the 4 steps scaffolded around. So the idea is that instructors or independent students can go and tackle these projects and eventually submit them into the project repository. And for a level 2 assessment, we would be then looking at how well they did against the outcomes for that project. Okay. Hopefully, the idea would be, once you've got your certification and shown you're able to be meet these outcomes, that you would be able to tackle problems independently and become a computational thinking problem solver without the need for an instructor or guidance. This will be the end point. Thanks for listening. I'm going to hand over to Brita, who's going to look at the multiparadigm data science course in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Alec. Hi, everyone. I've been asked to talk a little bit about how you can prepare for the level 1 and the level 2 certifications, specifically the level 2 certification in multiparadigm data science. Let me go ahead and share my screen. As Jamie pointed out, you can access the certifications page on the Wolfram U website. I have filtered by Wolfram certified level 1, and you'll see there are a lot of these courses like calculus and linear algebra along with multiparadigm data science image processing. So the best way really to prepare for the level 1 certification in a course is to go through the course, take all the quizzes, and then there is the final exam in some of these courses like calculus and linear algebra. So you can take the exam, which is also multiple choice, and that gets you your level 1 certification in these particular courses. For the level 1 certification, Wolfram Technology Certified Level 1, we mentioned we offer that in Mathematica or the Wolfram language. So there is an outline here about the different topics on which you will be assessed. So I think that is helpful to prepare yourself for the exam. The way we have designed this is that if you have been using the Wolfram language in your work, you are pretty confident, you can just go ahead and take the exam. But for those of us who would like to, have some review, would like to go back and, look at few topics before we take the exam, we encourage you to go to the Wolfram U website. Stephen Wolfram's Elementary Introduction to the Wolfram Language is a great place to start. We have an interactive course where you can watch videos, work through exercises and prepare yourself. We also have a new video course that we've made available. This is actually based on a study group we recently concluded, and we thought that study group went rather well. We had very good feedback, so we made it into a video course. And so this is something that you can go through. It's a sequence of videos that goes deeper into the topics, and so you can go through that, and I believe that will help you prepare for the exam as well. Now, going back to level 2 certification for multi-paradigm data science. Again, on this page, we have a recommended process that you follow, that you can definitely go through the course, take the quizzes. There are also exercises that give you level 1 certification. And now when you're ready for level 2, if you are one of us who, worry about, okay, which topic should I pick up? We have recommended 4 data sets from the Wolfram data repository that you can look at, but we are happy for you to work on your own project on a data set that you like. Now, we are hoping that you follow the multi-paradigm data science workflow that is outlined in the course. And so you can, just follow the same stages in the workflow as you develop your project. And we are excited to see all the different approaches. We do not want to hold you to a very rigid way to do things. We are excited to look at creativity and different approaches, but for the sake of consistency of grading something like a capstone project, we have provided this grading rubric, which I feel will be helpful as you are putting together your project and you know exactly what are the points on which we will be grading. So we've outlined here, you know, the mastery of the MPDS workflow, the 5 different stages. So we've shown you how much points we have decided to allocate to every stage, and then we also wanted to insist on reproducibility. That's a big deal nowadays in projects. So we have allocated some points to that. So I believe when you're putting together your project and you're ready to submit for grading, it's good to self-grade according to the rubric, so you'll have an idea about what our grader, our instructor will be looking at when they are grading your project. So I hope this gives a little bit of information how you can prepare for level 1 and level 2 exams. In the little bit of time remaining, I've been asked to pass on some thoughts from our outreach team, who are very excited to share your achievements, your certification on our social media platform as well. So they've said, add your certifications to your CV and your resume, but then also go ahead and add it to LinkedIn. And we've asked you to tag your post, hashtag Wolfram certified, and let us know at WolframU or Wolfram.com. Share it on Twitter, again, hashtag Wolfram certified, hashtag WolframU, and mention at Wolfram Research. Keep an eye on community, on the jobs forum. Highlight your certifications there as you're posting there. And then also finally, wherever you are spending your time on, community, Stack Exchange, Reddit, please go ahead and talk about the certification process. As members of the Wolfram community, we depend on you to spread the word and let folks know that the certification process is there. That's all I have to say. Handing over to you, Conrad.
Thanks very much indeed, Abrita. That was great. And actually, you've covered quite a lot of what I wanted to emphasize right at the end, which is please share. You know, one thing in the Wolfram community we can sort of do to engage here is to let everyone know, either when you've taken a certification or please to forward the program to others who might be interested. And remember, a lot of these certifications are not to do specifically with people who are already in the Wolfram community. They are broadening experience of modern computation, like the multiparadigm data science that Abrita just talked about, or computational thinking that Alec just talked about. Obviously, as well, there's Wolfram Language and broadening the programming experience and offering that. And that's really critical, I think, as we move forward to broaden the use of that and the understanding of it. And we think certification is a great way to help to do that. The more places you can post, the better, as Abrita said. If you're a parent, do suggest some of these courses and certifications for your children's schools. It may not fit with the traditional curricula, but there are often outreach activities that are looked for, and we have some great courses and certifications that can really help. Just as a thing to do on the side, but also really, as we said, to boost future prospects as well. And if you're an educator, consider building Wolfram certification into your courses as an extra qualification, as a standard part of what you're doing as well. So look, I hope you see that we've already got quite a good initial offering, but of course we want to go on building on this, and really we will add more and more resources into this as we see it start to take off. So the more we can sort of get this going initially, the better and the faster we can grow the effort. But I thought maybe we could spend just a few minutes now with answering any questions and chat that's come up. Maybe everybody wants to come on video, and we can try and just see if we've got any questions that people would like answering now.
I've answered a couple that have come through, but we all are, as you said before, Conrad, I think suggestions are welcome as well, as far as additional ways to pursue certification. Right, and George is reminding us that in Pathable, in our conference app, there's a chat functionality where we can communicate with each other. So if something comes to mind later, feel free to reach out on Pathable.
Indeed. So one question I've got, if you take, let's ask Abrita this question. You know, how much prior experience do you really think you have to have in order to get into the multi-paradigm data science course?
We were specifically told to design the course without any assumptions for prior experience. So you can just go in. Yeah, we do not start with the basics of Wolfram Language, which we use as a tool for doing multi-paradigm data science, but there are other resources to help you get up to speed there, but it's zero entry. We are not assuming any prior experience. You can come in and we start you right from level 0.
Great. I think somebody raised a hand, did they? Or I raised my hand by mistake, but I was actually trying to look at.
I think Edmund raised his hand.
Yeah, there's some questions in the app about is level 2 the highest, and should entry be at level 0? I don't have the answer to that one now, but I'm sure we can pick that up shortly.
Oh, good reminder. Yeah, level 0 really is what we would refer to those attendance and completion certificates. So those are the entry level, where the assessment pieces are really kind of the lowest bar as far as you've showed up, you've paid attention, you've completed the course. Level 1 and level 2 build on that for those higher levels of certification. And yes, currently level 2 is the current highest level of certification that we're offering.
And again, you know, we've carefully designed these levels of certification to sort of rack up between them, but you know, they're not the only possibilities into the future. So as you see other things, other ways you think we could assess people and offer certificates, other types of certification you would like, please do let us know, because this is very early stage. You know, we're not as you know, we're the computation and math company. We're experienced in that we are not experienced certification providers, but we think that the offering of modern computation is so critical that we need to be able to do that, which is why we're engaged in this effort. But we are very keen to hear ideas and things you've seen from other certification providers that would seem useful.
So I am reviewing some of the chat that's in the Pathable. There's one question about somebody, as we build this system, somebody pointing out, what if I've taken courses in the past and I'm looking for those certifications? And we certainly would be willing to help you out and assist you in those. We have records of attendance from courses and events going back quite a bit. So if there is something specific you've participated in and you weren't quite aware that the certification was available, or maybe it was just before we started offering it, reach out to us at wolfram-u@wolfram.com, and we can certainly help you with that. And Edmund's kind of clarifying about 0 entry. You know, while the MPDS course, and Abrita, you can add to this too as well, I think that while the course itself has 0 level entry, the endpoint is really, it's about getting you to where you need to be for those level 1s, level 2. I think certainly somebody who completes the course, gets their course completion, completes the level 1 assessments, and goes on to pursue a capstone project, that represents quite a bit of work. And again, referring back to our boot camp, our 2-week boot camp was an opportunity where we kind of guided a cohort of learners through that whole process. And Abrita was very active. I think you can testify to, you know, there was quite a bit of support involved in getting people to those capstone projects. So while it is definitely a 0 entry course, it represents a significant investment on the user's part to get to that level.
Right, and as Jamie mentioned in her certification slides, that level 2, we are really we are assessing your ability to apply the expertise. So, you're learning the multi-paradigm approach to data science, and then you're applying it to your own project. And we hope in your own project, you're able to demonstrate what you have learned. And so that takes some work. And we do try to provide some feedback. So bootcamp is a great setting because we're working with the folks there. So there's some back and forth. They give us their outline first. We give them some feedback. And then so that's a great way to prepare for the level 2 exam. The level 2 project. Yeah, level 2 will require some work.
Any final question? I think we should probably wrap up because we're at the end of our time. I think that seems good. Listen, thanks very much for joining, and please do take these, try them out, and send them to everyone else. And we look forward to seeing lots of these guys popping up around the media and elsewhere. Thanks very much indeed.